Labour MP Mike Amesbury, who punched one of his constituents, has finally resigned today. This means we are going to have a by-election in the Runcorn constituency, which, although was a Labour safe seat at the last general election, is now looking like it might be a win for the Reform Party. Let's take a look at the exclusive interview that Mike Amesbury did with GB News today.
Because after 3 nights behind bars, a judge agreed to suspend your jail term for 2 years. So there are many people who are watching who think, well, he did the crime, but he didn't serve his time. He was let off too lightly. What do you say to people who say that?
So just for context, in case anyone isn't aware, he was originally supposed to be chucked behind bars for 10 weeks for his crimes, but actually on appeal it was reduced. He only spent a few days behind bars and is doing community service instead.
Well, of course, I was out on appeal, so, and a judge, the judiciary is independent of politicians.
Yeah.
And he made that informed decision. But in regards to punishment, I've served 3 nights and 4 days. My sentence continues, so it's 2 years suspended. I have 200 hours community centres, and rightfully so. In a way, these are my punishment.
What are you doing for that? So you've got 200 hours of community service. What do you do? Is that a weekly thing?
Weekly thing. So, for example, I'm not going to say where it is.
Of course.
But I, was rubbing down some railings and fences in a canal. The side of a canal, and I will be painting it with other people that are doing community payback, and rightfully so. I embrace that, and that will be, it's probably take me a year to do those hours plus.
So being quite humble there, saying rightfully so, he has this punishment, he seems to be putting his hands up, owning up to his crimes, coming across as quite a nice guy. Do you guys think that this community service instead of prison time, do you think this is enough? Do you think that he deserves to be behind bars instead? Let us know in the comments.
I do some online courses. I obviously referred to the anger management. So one-to-one, so further work there. I've obviously been fined as well, and rightfully so. And the consequences go beyond the judiciary, but as a result of the sentence, a suspended sentence, I'm losing my livelihood.
Yeah.
My income. There's no severance, nothing.
No. You don't know where your next paycheck is coming from?
No. After today, no.
You still in your home, you can pay the mortgage?
No, so that's going on the market. So, it's, and obviously that affects on my family there. So I'm paying a price for what I've done. And didn't want to lose that. Didn't want to lose a family home, but no choice. As a consequence of what I did. Yes.
It's quite hard to know what to make of that interview there. You almost feel, I start to feel a bit sorry for him there, hearing that he's losing his family home, having to put his family home on the market. Guy's got kids, it sounds like, and he doesn't know how he's going to put food on the table and pay the bills for them because he's walking away from his job as an MP, walking away from that salary, and presumably when you have a record for punching someone and you're not just some nobody, everybody knows who you are because you've been all across the news for what you did punching a constituent, that's probably going to be quite hard to get a job anywhere. So what is he going to do? But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did that make you feel sorry for Mike Amesbury, or do you think he deserves to be put in that difficult position? But let's just take a look quickly at the letter he wrote to Rachel Reeves today, announcing that he he is officially resigning. One thing that was pointed out on Twitter is that he couldn't even spell Rachel Reeves's name correctly in his resignation letter. If you look at the top corner there, you'll see Rachel is spelt with an A when it should not have an A in it. So maybe tells us one thing or two about his competency as an MP, but I'm not a Runcorn constituent, so I cannot speak. But he says, it's with a heavy heart that I write to inform you of my decision to resign from the House of Commons by accepting an office under the Crown. This step, though immensely difficult, is the honourable course of action that I believe is in the best interest of my constituents. He goes on to say, well, he's proud of what he has done in Parliament, and then wishes the best to the Labour government, saying, govern with grace and servitude, listen, learn and correct mistakes, above all deliver a better, fairer Britain. So for any of you who do not remember, but I'm sure you all do, this is the famous Mail exclusive video that went out where everyone was just shocked that a Labour MP had been caught on CCTV having a fight and punching one of his own constituents. He also was punching the guy after he fell down on the ground, and you know, anyone that knows a thing or two about fighting knows if you hit someone when they are down on the ground and it's concrete, that is a very bad idea. That could end fatally. In fact, there was the guy who was punched, he came out and did I can't remember who, with a media interview the other day, talking about his experience being the one who was punched. So this has been everywhere. This guy's reputation, Mike Amesbury's reputation, is tarnished for life now, really. But anyway, we will have a by-election coming up as a consequence of this, and a lot of people initially thought this isn't going to be a very exciting by-election because it's such a strong Labour seat. Look at the general election result from just last year, July 2024. Look at the dark blue bars there. 53% win by Labour. Reform came second, but trailing very far behind on only 18%. And also, you know, Mike Amesbury is not the one standing as a candidate. It will be someone else from Labour who's got nothing to do with him and his punching. So you'd probably think, well, the people there who are loyal Labour supporters, they'll probably stick with Labour as long as it is not a guy who has punched somebody in the face. But oh no, the polling from Lord Ashcroft's poll is showing a very, very different picture to last year's general election. You can see, if you look at the light blue bars, Reform is well in the lead, way above what they did in the general election in July 2024. 42% versus only 33% for Labour. That's actually a pretty huge lead in the polling. Of course, we do not know if polls will translate into reality, but this is going to be a by-election to watch. Let me know in the comments, who do you think is going to win this by-election? Reform, Labour, or somebody else even. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Subscribe if you haven't already. Catch you next time.